Yep. Can I tell them briefly just how I discovered eSpeakers?
Yes.
Yeah, I basically started off in the real estate industry, and I gave one presentation, and from that one presentation, everything went nuts, and I went from 0 to like 80 events that particular year. And I was using a calendar, just a monthly 30-day calendar, and I would take a highlighter. I had an exotic system. I'd take this super bright highlighter, and I would highlight all the days I had to speak, and then I'd write my travel stuff on it, and everything worked great for about 3 months until I realized I found myself double booked, and that happened to me twice. And in some industries, when you're a speaker, the industries, everybody talks to each other. So if you double book and then you have to call someone and tell them you can't show up, all of a sudden they tell other people this person's not reliable. We booked him, we advertised him, we had our room, everything, and then now we have to turn around and tell people he can't show up. So I ended up to basically save myself. I told the person, look, this is totally my screw up. This is what I'm charging you. I will do your event for absolutely free. And when I say free, I mean free. I'll pay for my flight. I'll pay for my hotel. I'll pay for my rent-a-car. So I'll be paying you to speak. And that is what I had to do to make amends. But it illustrated something to me that my system had a problem. I said, first of all, a lot of speakers start out, they're a one-person shop. I said, I'm a one-person shop. So I lived in fear. I said, everything was on my little day planner. I said, what happens if I lose this? What happens if my bag is stolen? And what happens if I have this stuff in my laptop? What happens if my laptop is stolen? So I lived in a state of fear. I went to the National Speakers Association, and eSpeakers had a table, and I stopped. And after reviewing everything, they gave me the literature, and I didn't sign up right then and there because I'm Generation X. We don't trust anybody. We basically do all our research. So I went online. I researched and researched. I looked at everything out there, and all roads kept leading me back to eSpeakers. And it is how we run our office. And I'm one of the busiest speakers out there. It is how I do my whole back end is run on eSpeakers. I have someone who basically books me, someone who manages my schedule, and someone who does all the billing. And eSpeakers is the hub, and it's I can honestly say changed my life. And I cannot tell you how many times I've been at the annual convention and eSpeakers pays me nothing. I get no discount. There's no side deals going here. I literally grab people, anyone who's there, and they go, I want to be a speaker. I'm like, you got to go to eSpeakers. And I will grab them and take them to the eSpeakers booth and say, this is what you need to do. This is why, because you need to have some back-end system. So that's what it's done for me, and that's why I'm so glad to have Dave on the line, because he's the Big Kahuna. He knows everything about eSpeakers. He knows the questions that we don't even know to ask. So, Dave, thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, Terry. So, as Terry mentioned, my name is Dave Reed. I have been with eSpeakers for a long time. I hesitate to put a picture up there because my face is not my asset, right? But it's nice to be able to put a face with the voice. And I hope that as you see me at NSA conferences, that you'll stop and say hi. So, as Terry mentioned, I've been with the company for a long time, and it started when this guy, who some of you may remember, this is Art Berg. Art passed away in 2002, but before doing that, in 1999, he got frustrated that the speaking industry was just too small, too niche to attract for the same kind of development and technology firepower that were hitting Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. And so he's kind of frustrated that he couldn't get the same sort of technology for his business that other industries had. So if you knew Art, he did something about it, right? He got a hold of me, and we started eSpeakers to fill that void. We wanted to bring the best type of technology into the speaking industry to help speakers the same ways that other industries have this great software. And we've been doing that for the last 15 years. We're helping speakers like Terry. Recognize that guy right there. We help speakers like Terry to fill their calendar and to run their business in a way that gives them peace of mind and helps it grow. So we're in the,
And Dave,
I
don't mean to cut you off, but
sure.
I never had the privilege of meeting Art, but I knew a lot of people who knew him. And they told me this guy could pack parachutes. He was that detailed. And that's another thing that attracted me to the software. This is a guy who followed the details. He was very precise, very original. So background is kind of interesting.
Yeah, he was. He was all that, and he was a genius. And the year that he passed away, he was a CSP, a CPAE, and the incoming NSA president. If he
And what is a CSP and CPAE?
So CSP is a certified speaking professional. That's a designation that you can earn as a speaker. It's a great thing to do. The NSA awards that credential. A CPAE is the Speaker Hall of Fame. That's one that you can't earn necessarily. You have to be elected to that. You have to be voted into that, and that's a great honor for speakers to do that. They induct those Hall of Fame nominees at the summer conference every year, and there aren't a lot of them. That's big time. So Art,
it's like
Art
the Skull
was,
and Bones Club, very elite.
It is, yeah, it really is. So Art was top of his game. He just raised his speaking fee to about $20,000, his keynote fee, top of his game. So I share that with you to let you know that what I'm going to show you today was invented by a speaker. This is not somebody from the outside trying to guess what you need. This was done from the inside out, and you'll see that as I get to things. Speaking of that, I'm gonna burn through about 10 minutes of talking here, and then I want to get right to the demos. We're going to spend most of our time today show and tell. I'm going to be on the web browser and showing you how these things work. But back to the thread there. So we're in the business of helping speakers, and you might wonder, how exactly is it that we help speakers? And the way we do that is this. As y'all know, in the speaking world, the three-legged stool breaks down like this. You know, that back leg is great content and strong platform skills. If you don't have that, it's a non-starter, right? But just as important, you got to have marketing, and you got to know how to run a business. It's really tempting to feel like, you know, I've got this fantastic content that everybody who sees it loves it, and that's all I need to do for marketing, right? Word will spread like wildfire, and I'll just sit back and the phone will ring off the hook. And it just doesn't work like that, as most of y'all probably know. You can have great content, super platform skills, and you still got to have a strong marketing arm to get the word out there and to be as busy as you want to be.
Well, Dave, I see a lot of speakers, and what they don't realize, I tell them, is you have a visibility problem. You have an amazing message, but nobody knows who you are.
Right. Exactly. So eSpeakers helps with the marketing. The running a business side of things too. One of the things that the NSA teaches is that a lot of the speakers who fail out of the business as a whole go back to doing something much less interesting than speaking. They fail out because they didn't run their business like a business. They had good content and platform skills, and they might have even had good marketing, but they failed on the business side of things. And that's the third leg of the stool. You got to have all three of these to succeed, to sustain yourself long term. And eSpeakers helps with these two. We don't do much with the content and platform skills right now, but we're the guys to go to for the marketing as far as the visibility goes, and running a business. And our goal is your goal. Our goal is to help you get to success. Whatever that looks like and feels like for you, maybe that's big bags of money, maybe it's lots of time at home with the kids. Whatever that is for you, we want to help you get to success. So let's just dive right in. So I'm going to talk about two things today. I'm going to talk about running a business. I'm also going to talk about marketing and promotion. We're going to start out with running a business. So a lot of our customers who come to us have been dragging some weird mashup of Outlook or Mac Calendar if they're on Macs. Maybe they're using Salesforce for their CRM. Maybe they're using Act or Outlook for their CRM. But they've got their travel plans in Word. They've got their money details in Excel, which they might later type into QuickBooks. They've got PowerPoint decks in Dropbox, and they've got access to very little of this on the go. Or if they do, it's in 9 different apps. And those are the organized ones, right? I mean, there's other folks that come to us and, you know, the image you see on the screen, the paper calendar with stuff X'd out and stars on it, sitting on a wall in some office somewhere, you know, that's what they're bringing. That's what they're running.
Dave, that's the exact picture almost of what my calendar looks like. The other issue that people have is I'd be writing stuff on my calendar because I'm in between flights, and then I go back and I cannot figure out what I wrote. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
And I was using ACT is what I started out with. I said, okay, I need to get professional. But then I did not know that you had to renew my license every year. It was a license I had to keep buying, and it was just I couldn't figure out how to use it. I had to learn how to use the software, and I realized it really wasn't designed for speakers.
Yeah, it's just not, and that's the problem, is that generic tools just don't fit this industry. Speakers have very specific calendaring needs, and they're very different from a generic calendaring tool. So, I think Google Calendar is a great calendar, and I encourage our customers to use something like that for their personal daily calendar, but it's a horrible business calendar because it's just not built for it, and a speaker's needs are very different. And the result of using the wrong tools for this, Terry, you mentioned one earlier that you double booked, and that's a huge black eye in this business, and it doesn't take long for word to get around, right? Even if you don't have a catastrophe like that, if you're just not really on the A game, if you can't answer questions about your availability instantly and confidently, if you're not taking care of all the to-do items that have to happen on a certain schedule for every event, the clients can sense that, they can smell that, and it doesn't give them the vibe that they are going to want to hire. They don't want to think. The
other biggie, I'm going to cut you off. The other biggie is a lot of speakers are one-person shops. I cannot tell you how many times someone will call me and say, "Are you available?" And I'm getting on a plane or I'm going someplace, I'm traveling, I'm driving. I'm like, I don't know if I'm available. I said, but you can go to my website, click his schedule, and they said, well, how often is this updated? I'm like, that's my real-time schedule. I'm on eSpeakers. That is real-time. You can see. And I said, I know you probably have a committee. You have 22 people you need to talk to make a decision. I said, you can go here and see exactly what we see. And what it did is it made me look bigger than I was. People are like, wow. I get one of the major comments is, what type of technology package do you have? This is fantastic. Other speakers aren't doing this. Normally we have to wait and they have to call us back, and it's not real time. That is a major advantage. If you're a one-person shop, it makes you have the same advantages of a Fortune 100 company.
Yep. That's great. Which was Art's vision, right? Art wanted to bring those kinds of tools to speakers and make them look like they're big time, even if they're a one-person shop. So the eSpeakers way of doing things is very different. We've got a purpose-built calendar, especially for the speaking industry. You can see on this calendar the goldenrod shade. That's the shade for a hold. Green, that's money, right? That's a confirmed event. The blue is a lead. You can see there's little blue dots on there and little orange dots. Those are daily calendar items and travel plans. So we've got a calendar that's very specific for the speaking industry. There's nothing else like it. We also give you tools like a dashboard that can show you what your upcoming pipeline looks like as far as confirmed.
But Dave, who can put a hold on your event? Who can hold your event? So can someone hold your event? If I'm in a classroom, I'm speaking, can someone go to my calendar and say, Terry, we're interested in this because I lost a lot of money from people who tried to book me and I didn't get back in touch with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is, if you allow it, now we have some customers who like to close this off and make it totally private, and you can do that. But the smart ones like Terry will allow the public through their own website. So Terry, on your website, you've got some tools that allow meeting planners, people who are considering hiring you, to actually place a hold on your calendar through your website. That goes right on the calendar. You get email notification of it instantly. We've also got a new Book Me Now button that you can add to your website that allows people to make inquiries that will go right onto your calendar as a lead. So we've got these great tools that allow your customers, again, at 10 p.m. at night when you're asleep, they're putting events on your calendar for you, and you get notified.
Well, also, if you're dealing international and you have people in other time zones, you're asleep, but you would never be able to talk to them because let's say it's Australia, they're like way ahead of you. Yep. They're booking you while you're sleeping.
Yep. Which is a wonderful thing to wake up to, right? Yep. You get new holds in your inbox. So yeah, it's a great way to do it. Our system keeps track of every to-do item that has to be done for every event. We know when the travel should be booked. We know when the thank you needs to be. We know when the deposit needs to be received. We know when you've got to send out your introduction, your high-res photo. That's all customizable for your schedule. But most of our customers have 20 to 30 to-do items. We call it our action list that gets laid out for every event, and it emails you and your staff in the morning and keeps everybody in sync. And I'm going to show you some more of that. Here's a shot of the event details screen. It's what I wanted you to see on this. If you look, it's a little small, but there's some tabs across the top there. You see details, contacts, travel, services, action list. Everything for your event is in one spot. And that's huge, right? It's in one spot, and it can be on any computer. It can be on your iPad. It can be on your phone, all in one place. And that's a game changer, having everything together. Another thing that our system does that no other system has is we've got these fantastic reports that give you a window into your business. And if you don't have a window like this into your business, then you're kind of running blind. And that's not the way to grow a business quickly.
Well, I was watching a prophet last night. He said something interesting. He said, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business.
There you go. Okay, well said. I'll shut up right there because that does it. And this screen is how you know your numbers. We've got almost 20 different business reports on here that give you all kinds of looks into your business. And also nice things like you can email a nice report for event travel that you can hit a button and email that out to your client when they want to know what your travel plans are. And again, because that's done in a nice format and because the action list reminded you to do that, it's making you look like $1 million to your client.
Dave, can I say one thing on the screen? On the bottom where it says story history, a lot of times someone will hire a speaker and then they'll say, well, we hired him and he came out again and it's exactly the same. He said exactly the same thing. Can you explain the value of having a story history?
Yeah, this is a really handy tool. On the event, one of the pieces of data that you can record for every event is which of your stories, which of your anecdotes, which of your examples did you tell at that event. And then this story history report lets you put in the name of a client like Boeing. It brings up every event you have ever done for that group and shows you at each of those events what stories you told. And that's great for making sure that your presentation is fresh and that you're not just rehashing old stuff every year. You know, another great thing while we're looking at reports, the contacts export. You can see it in the middle column there about halfway down. The contacts export report is great this time of year. Actually, you're probably a little bit late, but that report lets you generate a list of the contact info for everyone you spoke for this year. And when you do that, you can import that into your mailing label and spit out Christmas cards. It's a great way to do things like that. Again, those are little touches that keep you top of mind and help them think of you when they need a speaker next year. So,
and what about the productivity by custom field? Does eSpeakers do anything where I can look and see who's writing the big check so I can say, for this Christmas, they need to get something extra special? I mean, as opposed to knowing.
In fact, if you look there are 4 different productivity by reports: productivity by bureau, contact, custom field, and lead source. My favorite and probably the most commonly used is the lead source, productivity by lead source. What that lets you do is that lets you compare all of your lead sources. So you've got, a specific web campaign that you've done, or you did a postcard, or whatever your marketing, or it's spin-off business, or it's referral, whatever your marketing channels are, you can spit out this report that shows you how much volume you did last year or the year before or the last 2 years. You choose the range, and how much money you earned off of that, how many engagements you got, and what your average dollar value per engagement is. So not only does it help you figure out who's writing you the biggest checks, it helps you figure out which of those channels is the one you should probably cut off, because hardly any of the holds turn into confirmed events, and even the ones that do hardly pay you anything, right? So knowing which ones to sort of divest yourself of is just as important as knowing which ones you want to invest more in.
And can you explain the travel log? That is one of my most used features because many times my girlfriend's like, well, where will you be at or where are you going to be? I just email this report to all my family members, to everybody, to the person who's hiring me, who's saying, can you give us your flight information so somebody can pick you up? Can you explain what's the logic behind the travel log?
You bet. We used to call the travel log when we first built the travel log reports many years ago. We first called it the refrigerator report, because it was the one that speakers would print out and stick on the family fridge, right? So that everybody knew where mom was or dad was, and what the flights are. It just you can give it a date range. Most people do it about a week at a time, and it spits out all of your travel plans in this really easy to read format. So all of your hotels, your car rental, it's got confirmation numbers, it's got departure times, it's really everything that you need. And that goes on the fridge. You can print it out and take it with you as well, but the mobile apps that we have will give you the same information and probably a little easier than carrying paper around. But yeah, that travel log report is a big one. The other one that people really like up there is event details, which when you're stuffing stuff in the briefcase, getting ready to go out to an engagement, that has everything you know about all of the client notes, things you took during the client call, just everything for that engagement, all in one shot. So that's a nice way.
That actually saved me a couple days ago. I showed up and they said, well, we thought you were supposed to bring the projector. I pulled out my event details and I said, I spoke to so-and-so on this date. It's time-stamped. You were supposed to have the projector. And they said, oh, our mistake. But had I not had the event details, it would have gone a completely different way.
Great example. Great example. So let's move on, and I just want to mention that eSpeakers is a wonderful event manager purpose-built for the speaking industry, but it doesn't do everything that you need, and it's not supposed to do everything you need. You're still going to need, for instance, an accounting package like QuickBooks. You're going to need a CRM to manage your contacts, and you're going to want some sort of daily calendar, which is going to hold things like, I've got my violin lesson and I've got a doctor's appointment. These are not things that belong on your professional calendar, because you don't need, the world to know that you got a proctology appointment on September 17th. But you want those kinds of things in a daily calendar. So instead of trying to reinvent those wheels, we just integrate with your favorites. So for your daily calendar, we integrate with Google Calendar, Mac Calendar, Outlook, Yahoo Calendar, any software that's iCalendar compatible, which thankfully these days is most of them. We also integrate with your CRM. So wherever you're managing your contacts, we integrate with that, because with every event, there are usually 3 or 4 contacts that belong on that event. So we can integrate with your contact manager to link those contacts up. We integrate with Outlook, the Mac address book, Google Contacts, Zimbra, Infusionsoft, and Salesforce. We're adding to this list all the time. So we just handshake with those and make a nice world. The other thing we integrate with, I mentioned, is QuickBooks. And we also have iOS and Android apps so that you can carry this all with you without having to even crack open your laptop. And the end result of this is that eSpeakers becomes the conductor of your orchestra, and all of the other parts of all the other tools in your speaking business all work in concert instead of fighting with each other to help you grow your business. All right, we're getting a little behind. I'm talking longer than I wanted to. Let me switch gears here and talk about marketing. Okay, so we've been talking about business management. Let's talk about marketing for a second. Marketing without eSpeakers, we hear from our clients when they first come to us that marketing without eSpeakers, trying to get exposure, trying to have people find out about you, they feel like that guy. If you can see that big red arrow, I don't know if you can identify with that at all, but it's tough to get noticed in this space. There's a lot of competition. Sometimes, depending on your topic, there might be hundreds, even thousands of other speakers that speak on the same thing. And you got to get noticed. You got to get out in front of the buyers. They've got to learn about you and find out why to hire you. So marketing without eSpeakers, you wind up doing everything by hand. You're not leveraging automation. here's a key that we see even seasoned speakers miss. They ignore travel as a marketing opportunity. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but every time you get on a plane should be a great marketing opportunity. I'm going to talk more about how that works in a second. And you're just not found, again, if you're marketing without eSpeakers, you're just not getting found in the places that event organizers go. Let me show you
Dave,
how this
if
works.
I could interject one thing. Sometimes you're speaking for someone, and they may be able to afford your fee, but then when you add on the flight, the hotel, the rent-a-car, the per diems, then they can't afford you. So what eSpeakers does is someone can say, hey, Terry's in Chicago today. They're saving on a lot of those travel fees, and now that's an event that you got that you wouldn't have been able to get because they can piggyback off someone else's event as opposed to schlepping you in just for their event.
Terry, you led in perfectly to this next slide. The slide you're looking at right now is what meeting planners see when they're searching for speakers to hire. And a lot of times they will do a search for a local deal, right? Because they need somebody and they can save on the travel expenses, which sometimes that's the make or break, right? So when event organizers do a local search, and you can see here on the left they put in March 26th in Atlanta, Georgia. It pulls up speakers who live near there. You can see that top green circle. They live nearby 2 miles away. But look at that bottom green circle, the one for Carrie Lorenz. That one says in the area March 26th. And Carrie got included in that search because she had her calendar in eSpeakers, and we knew that she was going to be in Atlanta on that day. You think Carrie likes to fly once and speak twice? Yeah, that's awesome, right? And the event organizer gets Carrie at a discount because Carrie's already in town. So that's a win on both ends, and that was just a way to turn your travel into marketing just by keeping your calendar in eSpeakers.
Another great thing about this is I'd rather stay in one location for a couple days as opposed to packing, fly, pack, fly, pack, fly, pack, fly. Way easier for you.
Yeah, definitely. So another way that you can turn your travel into marketing is here with our local lead pool. One of the features of our Pro package is that we've got this huge database, tens of thousands of meeting planners, of media people, chambers of commerce, speakers bureaus, and every time you travel, our system in advance will send you a list of these potential customers that are going to be within about an hour's drive of where you are. And we give you full contact information. So we've got speakers who really mine this data, and we do the mining for you, but they use what we mine and make phone calls. They do postcard campaigns. They get in front of these folks and they say, hey, I'm going to be just down the street from you in 3 weeks. Mr. Television producer, if you'd like to interview me because I did these things, let's arrange that. And it's a great way to leverage travel into a marketing opportunity. Another one is the speaker track. You can import your own client list into the system, and then every time you travel, eSpeakers will send all of your contacts in the area where you're traveling a little note that looks like this that says, hey, Dan's coming to town. If you'd like to preview his presentation or book him while he's there or just take him to lunch because he's a great guy, give me a ring. It's got your contact information in it. So those are 3 specific ways to leverage your travel into marketing opportunities. It's a great thing, and a lot of even seasoned speakers miss out on that opportunity. All right, moving on quickly too. Let me back up to that.
And also, while you're doing that, it's great. Sometimes a bureau won't hire you because they've never seen you. To call the bureau to say, look, I'm gonna be in your backyard. If you want to see what I'm capable of, I'll be here. Come and see me.
Right. Here's the address. Here's the time. I've cleared it with the client. Come check me out. Yeah, it's like, you just turn it into your own little, spotlight preview there when you travel. So one of the things that we've done, that eSpeakers has done during these last 18 months, is we have started making a big push, spinning up a big effort to get in front of meeting planners. We're doing a lot of marketing to event organizers, to meeting planners. We're going to the meetings where they are. We are, buying AdWords to attract meeting planners. We're trying to bring these guys in and connect them with you. We want to help them hire the perfect speaker. And I'm going to show you some things that we've learned as a result of this. We're now in a great position because we've understood the speaking side for a long time, and now we understand the buyer's side better than we ever have before. We know what these guys are looking for. We know how to attract them. I'm going to share that with you in just a second. But I wanted to share first that when we built our directory engine, we did something really smart. And that is that we built it in a way that we could take our logo off and put somebody else's logo on it. And the goal there, what we'd hoped would happen, is that other organizations would use our speaker directory with our speakers in it on their website, which means now all of their website traffic becomes our website traffic, right? And all of their website traffic is coming in to see the speakers in our catalog, which is you. So we had hoped that's what would happen, and it's been going like gangbusters. So you guys probably know Ron Carr is the NSA president last year, and just using Ron as an example, because Ron's in our database, as each of you are as an NSA member. That's a member benefit that you've got one of our starter accounts. And so your profile shows up on the NSA National website. Your profile can show up on your chapter website. I don't know, Terry, do you know if Chicago powers with us or not? The Chicago or the Illinois chapter, sorry.
I believe it's something that's in the works.
Okay, good. And if it's not, we'd be happy to work with you on that. But for instance, the New York chapter powers with this, and so Ron's profile shows up there as well. We also power the Global Speakers Federation. They stick their logo on it, and now it's their directory. Now all of that traffic's coming in to us. We also offered this technology to speakers bureaus like Cal Entertainment and many others, and so they stick their logo on it, and now their traffic is coming to our engine as well. Organizations like Smart Meetings. If you're not familiar with them, that's because you're not a meeting planner. Smart Meetings has got about 40,000 meeting planners as a part of their organization, and they do a monthly magazine, and they do meetings where these guys gather. We have partnered with them to add a Smart Meetings speaker directory. So now Smart Meetings traffic is our traffic coming in to see our speakers. We're really excited about this one. Last year, MPI came to us, asked us if we'd provide a speaker directory for them, which is awesome. Meeting Professionals International is one of the biggest, most respected names in the meeting planners world. And now we power the MPI speaker resource. And so now MPI's traffic is our traffic. We've got our own brand out, the eSpeakers Marketplace, that we're promoting aggressively, and bringing our own traffic in under our own brand. And so I guess what I want you to get the sense of here is that with a profile in eSpeakers, we're giving you these extraordinary publicity opportunities to get out in front of people and to get found in the places where meeting planners are. There's actually one more that I wish I could tell you guys about. It's a speakers bureau, and we'll announce it when the time's right. We want to let them be the ones to break the news, and then we'll let you know about it. But this is a speakers bureau. If I told you their name, you would definitely recognize it, and they're going to put up a directory and allow speakers who qualify. And there's no reason, I think, that everybody on this call couldn't come up to those qualifications, be in their directory, and that's going to be a fantastic opportunity. So keep an eye out for an announcement about that.
Dave, a couple questions on, let's say someone, if they didn't go with eSpeakers, or whether they did or they didn't. You have people who help write bios, for example. So you know a lot about bios. You know what people are searching for. So just a couple quick questions. What fee range do you see that is searched the most? Not an exact dollar amount, but what range? And also, what absolutely, based on your research, should be on their bio? So on their website, on their bio, what should their bios look like? And what are people searching for the most? And what should not be on their bio? Like, if you want, the decision makers who are looking at this, what are they looking at? What do they look at first? What should their bio, whether it's on eSpeakers or their website, what should it look like, and what should they not be doing?
That is a great question, Terry. And I actually know the answers to that now because we've been working with meeting planners so closely for the last 18 months. What we're seeing in our directory is that one of the most common price points that buyers come in and want speakers for, as far as a price point, is between $5,000 and $10,000, which is great. A lot of our speakers fall right in that range. And so that's one of the most common price points. Now, as far as what they're looking for, the topics are all over the map, but I'll tell you what attracts them when they're doing a search. The screen that I'm sharing with you right now is the screen that event organizers use to hire speakers. And this particular one's got the eSpeakers Marketplace brand on it, but when this goes out through MPI or Smart Meeting or associations of bureaus, it looks the same, works the same. And what they'll do is they'll come in and look for a topic like communication, and then they will set their price range. Topic plus price, that's the key pair that they are going after. Let's say that they need a speaker under 10,000. Okay. Now, probably the next most common thing is they know their event date and location, and they love a local deal, so they enter the date and location. That'd be the next thing. We recently allowed them to start off, selecting a certain language. So I need somebody that can speak French or present in Spanish. And so there's other things they can filter by, but the topic and price are always used.
Is there anything that absolutely must be on their bio? You're like, if you're doing this, this needs to be there.
Yep, there are. So just looking at this search as an example, Phil Van Hooser is at the top. And right off the bat, the thing that they want to see is you need to have a fee listed. I've got customers who, for whatever of their own reasons, choose not to list their fee. Like, the thing that I hear the most is they say, well, I don't want to list their fee because if they like me, I want to talk to them, and then I can talk them into whatever fee I want. And that probably works in some places, but it doesn't work in the online world. And more of these meeting planners want to hop online and hire a speaker the same way they buy so many of their other services. And to do that, you've got to have a listed fee. So even if it's a range, like Phil has here, $8,500 to $12,500, you've got to have a range. You've got to have video. These guys are not going to hire blind.
And how long should the video be, would you suggest? Is there a sweet spot as far as time of video?
There is. We recommend 3 to 5 clips of 3 to 5 minutes each. Actually, even a little bit shorter. I might say 2 to 4 minutes each. But these are short clips, and you want several of them. Title them after your different presentations, or title them after the different types of audiences that you speak to. So Terry, you might have a clip that says, here's Terry in front of a large, a real estate group of 2,000. Here's Terry in front of a group of 17, real estate CEOs. Here's Terry doing his, real deal presentation. Those would be the titles of the clips.
What about, I mean to cut you off, what about, I go to a lot of speakers' sites and you'll see where they'll have the beginning of their videos, nothing but testimonials, people saying how great they are. Should it be that, or should it be just you speaking?
The primary video has got to start with you speaking. That's what the buyer wants to see. Video testimonials aren't bad. If you're going to use those, either put them at the end of a clip or make them their own clip and title it, here's what people are saying about Terry, so that the buyer knows what they're going to see when they watch it. But don't start your video off with that. The other thing to avoid is don't start off with this really slick montage. It starts off with a voiceover and it's got pictures of you sliding in and out talking about your accomplishments. Again, that's not necessarily a negative thing to have later on, but don't start with that. They want to see you on stage doing your thing.
I had heard you say once before, and I thought it was so good. You were saying that most speakers, like on a lot of their bios, they're speaking about their accomplishments, and you said you don't want to speak to your accomplishments, which are good. What were you saying?
Right. What you've got to do on these profiles, and we learned this from watching meeting planners make buying decisions. When they come to your profile, they don't want to know about you until they know what you're going to do for them. They've got a meeting in mind that's got a purpose. They're trying to motivate their employees. They're trying to increase their sales. They're trying to do something. And they're going to write you a big check. And so they got to know what you're going to do for them. They have to know if you're going to accomplish their needs. And so you have to speak to that first. Phil's done a great job. If you look at his one-line bio here, it's that gray text that says, Philip Van Hooser works with organizations to build trust, inspire their leaders, and get results. So as a buyer, as I scan through, I see what Phil is going to do for me. He's going to help my organization build trust. He's going to inspire my leaders, and he's going to get results. And so the one-line bio is critical, but don't make it about you. Make it about what you'll do for them. And do the same thing. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Do the same thing in your full bio text. So we give you a full bio. We recommend that that bio is 2 to 3 minutes of reading time. And it's got to start off, the first paragraph or two are all about audience benefits. Talk about the problems that you're going to solve for them. Talk about why their company's going to be better off after they've heard you. And after that, talk about yourself. After you've made these wild claims about what you can do, now it's time to back it up and convince them that you can deliver what you just claimed you could.
Now, is this something they should be doing? I'm sorry, is this something they should be doing only on eSpeakers or whatever platform they're currently using?
You know what? Any platform you're using. Just, we and eSpeakers is guilty of this too. We call this a bio. We call this page a bio, right? And a bio is a biography. That's about me. And it does have to include information about you, but that happens below the information about what you're going to do for your customers. This is a marketing piece, right? So, if you imagine pulling up an ad for Apple computers, and the whole ad starts off with the history of Apple, right? Not impressive. I want to know what Apple's going to do for me first. Now, later on, if they want to talk about their heritage and why they're great, that's fine. But first, you got to sell me. Tell me how great the computer is. Tell me what it's going to do for me and how I'm going to be so productive with it. So,
Dave, sorry to keep cutting you. When you're talking to meeting planners and they tell you this stuff in a bio, so anyone who's listening to this, is there anything that that meeting planners have told you when they look at a bio, they just say to themselves, clearly this person's a rookie. This is horrible, or I can't believe they did this. Is there anything just said, if you're doing anything, don't do this? Is there anything that they've told you that should not be on your bio that basically smacks of rookie, smacks of someone it's their first rodeo?
It would probably be more things missing than things that are on there. And so, I keep going back to video, but it's just so critical. We see meeting planners just pass by speakers who don't have video. It's kind of a rookie move, right? If you don't have something of you up there, it's kind of a rookie move. The other thing that we know buyers look at a lot, which is the same thing that you pay attention to when you're buying anything these days online, you got to have reviews, right? So that's another kind of rookie move, is to not have reviews on there. Buyers want to know what other people have said about you. That helps eliminate the risk for them. One of the things I've really gained an appreciation for these last 18 months as we've been working with meeting planners so intensively is that they feel a tremendous amount of pressure. There's a huge burden on them to really get a home run with the speaker, and they're so scared of hiring the wrong speaker. And so, they've got to be able to see you on stage. They really want to see what other people have experienced has been with you before they pull the trigger and recommend you as the speaker. It's huge pressure for them. So yeah, if there's some things, if those things are missing, if there's no reviews, if there's no video, it makes it really easy for them to move on to the next person in their short list. Terry, I want to be really conscious of time here. We've been going about 45 minutes here. I was going to go in and show some of the calendaring system that we talked about earlier, just show a few features of that and demonstrate how speakers are using that. You want me to keep going? You want me to stop now? What do you want me to do?
Can you give them a brief live demo of like the best features, what they should be using?
You bet. You bet. But
We'll
before I
definitely
leave
open it up to
marketing,
question and answer.
before I leave marketing entirely, let me just, I guess, mention that there are several other marketing tools that we offer to help you get publicity and promotion. The directories and all the traffic we're bringing in to see your profile, that's sort of the heartbeat of it. But there are a lot of other things you can do to even market to your own customer list, to market off of your own website. These are things that once you put them in place, they just work automatically to bring you business, and it's just a great way.
And can you also show them was one feature that you have I think is fantastic that you were telling me about, where somebody can even write down what they wear?
Oh, yeah. All right, so what I am showing you right now is our eSpeakers calendar application. This is our specialized calendaring application. I showed you a few screenshots of it earlier. And this is, again, a purpose-built calendaring system. And so many of our customers come to us and they've been using Google Calendar, or they've been trying to do it all in a CRM like Salesforce. And again, Salesforce is great for contacts, horrible as an event manager, just wasn't built for it. And with our calendar, you're able to come in and see, a year at a glance. I talked about these color codings earlier, what they mean. Once you enter an event, this side of the screen is all event details for this one particular event. So I'm going to speak for Boeing on December 30th. I can see everything about this in one shot. I can see when I'm going to be on stage. Here's all of my notes. And if I've got staff members entering things, if I've got a virtual assistant, everything's all in one shot. And it's all time-stamped, as Terry mentioned, which, makes it really easy to go back and say, hey, I've recorded our conversation, January 3rd, you said this.
Well, what you're doing is, what eSpeakers does, I think, is great. It's like a nurse. When you're at the doctor's office, they're charting your chart as if they plan on being sued. And that's what the great thing about eSpeakers. It gives you that time-stamped, date-stamped, everything, so you don't have to have a good memory.
Yep. Contacts, there's usually 3, 4, 5 contacts that go with every event. You can track those here. Again, if you're using one of these contact managers, you can integrate with that and just link the contacts in rather than hand entering them. All of your travel plans go here. This is what allows us to generate, that refrigerator report I mentioned earlier, or, there's also a report that's good for sending to the client because they want to know your travel plans. If you are a TripIt user, you can import your travel plans from TripIt, which is awesome. If you're not a TripIt user, seriously, TRIPIT.com. Go get a free account today. They're an awesome travel plan aggregator and itinerary maker. Go get an account with them. You'll thank me. Services. This is where you track all the money that you're charging, and we integrate with QuickBooks to create invoices out of this. You can track products that are going out. The action list is the heartbeat of the system. Again, most of our customers have 20, 30, 40 items that have to be done on a certain schedule. And you build that schedule out once, and then our system applies that schedule to every event you do. And as it moves from lead to hold to confirmed, different actions can apply or unapply. And it just makes sure that everything runs on time. It sends out emails to the right person at the right time to let them know, hey, good morning, Terry. It's January or December 19th, it's time to do X, Y, and Z. So the action, we have a lot of customers that buy this just for the action list, and they discover the other features later, but it's worth it to them just for that. The library tab, you can attach files to this, so your signed contract, your PowerPoint deck can go on here. It works kind of like Dropbox, except the files are attached to this event specifically. So it makes it so easy to come back a year or 2 or 10 years later, pull up this event, there's your files for that event attached. And you can create a lot of those with our template library. You can write contracts, thank you letters, even invoices, anything in Word or Excel. You create a template document once, and then our system will fill in the information for events, event after event, with just a click. Now, Terry, you'd asked about the dress and when Art Berg first conceived of the system, he would put in things like business casual or black tie, so he'd know what the dress code was for the area or for the event. And I still remember it was a year after we launched. I was at an NSA convention. It was in Washington, D.C., long time ago. And one of our first female customers, I think it was Patricia Fripp. Some of y'all probably know Fripp. She came up and she asked us to sign into her account and show her a couple of things. And so we signed into her account. We're looking at events. And on the event that she showed us, she hadn't put business casual. She had put red dress with striped scarf. She had put the specific outfit that she wore that day, right?
Brilliant.
And I said, why would you record that? What does it matter what outfit you wore? And the ladies on this call are probably shaking their heads at my stupidity right now. Of course, next time you go back and speak for Boeing, she wanted to make sure she didn't wear the same thing, right? So that was kind of a cool experience to see somebody use it in a different way than we had imagined when we first invented it. This
and Dave,
list down below here. Oh, go ahead, Terry.
One major thing I think that eSpeakers does that's fantastic is I'd worked on my CSP, I think around 1999, 2000, and it was an absolute nightmare. I paid two people almost $2,000 to take my paper calendars and figure out where I spoke, everything, to do the application. And since then, eSpeakers has now made it easy for people to do their CSP. But what I think is fantastic about it is if you start with the program now, all you have to do is press a button, and you don't have to go through the absolute nightmare of going through that process without it being automated.
Yeah, it's the CSP. We have a lot of customers who, right here, I'm showing you on the screen. We have a lot of customers who start with us just for this feature, and they discover all the other things later. But
priceless.
Yeah, if you're looking at getting a CSP, our application tracks all the data you need, and then you click this button right here. I'm signed in right now as someone with access to several speakers because we have management companies using this. But for an individual speaker, you'd only see your name in there. You just click CSP application, and boom, the next thing you see is that big spreadsheet that NSA needs for the application. And we've got a wiki article too about exactly which fields to make sure you fill in to collect everything that you'll need to spit that report out. And people will buy this a year or two into their CSP and back enter data too, and that works great. So if you've already started that time, you can start now with eSpeakers and backfill your past events in, and then the rest of them will just happen as you use the system to run your business. So Terry, what do you think? Should we open up the mic and let people ask questions? Do you want me to go over anything else first?
Absolutely. And can you tell them, you said everybody already has an account. What account do they have, and how much is it to get eSpeakers and everything? And let's open it up to everybody for the time that we have. All right, great. So if everyone would right now on your phone, press the mute button, or if you're on a computer headset, just press your mute button so that when we open the lines up, it won't be flooded with hiss. And then if you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and ask that question. But while you're muting those phones, let me answer Terry's question. I'm going to go here to our join page. As an NSA member benefit, everyone on this call, if you're an NSA member, has got a starter account. The NSA provides that as part of your membership fee with NSA. A lot of the publicity features we've been talking about are available in our Plus account. So that fully unlocks video and everything else you need to really max out your speaking profile. And then if you want to run your business with the system, with the special calendaring system, that's our Pro package. So that's how eSpeakers lays out. And I'm going to switch over here and show you a window that has got a coupon code on it. If you use that coupon code, that's an ILROCKS. If you use that coupon code during the next week, you're going to get $150 off an upgrade. Just a little gift for being in this presentation, a little Christmas present. But let me go ahead and unmute the phones here, and we'll take some questions.
Okay. So maybe there's not any, but if anybody's got something they'd like to ask, either Terry or I, go ahead and unmute your phone and ask away.
I'll try, Dave. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're on.
This is Jeff Corhan. Hi.
Hey, Jeff.
So I've been on my iPad and on the computer. I guess what you've been showing us is not on the app yet, or will it be, or is that just something that will probably never happen because it's an app?
Jeff,
I'm talking about the look and the feel of the calendar, the reports. Like I couldn't access a lot of things on the app, but I was able to get exactly what you were showing us online.
So when you say the app, you're talking about like the iPhone app?
The thing that kind of resides on my computer, I suppose.
Gotcha. Yeah, what I've been demonstrating on today, Jeff, is our next generation application. You actually have access to that today. It's in beta. And it will eventually replace the installed desktop application that you're running on right now.
So we can't upgrade to it yet. You'll just do that automatically for us.
We will do it automatically, but you've got access to it right now. If you go to eSpeakers.com/myevents, you can use our new system in beta right now, and it works great.
Yeah, I did, and it is great, and I'm loving a lot of these. I don't know if all these features are new, but I certainly learned some things today.
Good. I'm happy to hear
Thank
that.
you. And Dave, do you have to sign any long-term contracts to use eSpeakers? And if they decide that they use eSpeakers and they want to stop, what's the process to do that?
Well, do you consider 7 years long? I'll take that as a no. That was a horribly timed joke. No, there's no commitment beyond a month. We go month to month. We earn your business every month. Most of our customers do sign up on one of our annual plans because we give a discount, but you can sign up month to month as well. And we need to earn your business.
Right. I've been month to month with you since 2001.
Well, we need to switch you on annual and save you some money.
No, I am annual, but I've been with you since 2001.
Oh, gotcha.
I agree.
Right. Yeah. No, we've got so many customers that have been with us for a long time, and we're so appreciative of that. We're really blessed to have a great customer base.
Any other questions from anybody?
Hi, it's Cindy Maxey.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi, how are you? Thanks so much for this. Nice review. I am one of those that has the package that comes with membership with no video, so I look like a rookie. And it's been bothering me that I don't have a video, but I noticed that the least commitment I would have to get a video on the site would be the $39.95 a month, which is now coded $150 off on that basic plan. Do I have that right? If I want to get video on my NSA site, just to
not look like a rookie, right?
I'm sorry?
I said, yeah, that'll work. That code will work just great for that. To use that coupon code, in order to give you that much off, you'll need to go with the annual payment plan. You could switch to monthly after your first year if you want, but in order to give you that big of a discount, because that's bigger than 1 month of service, right? To give you that big of a discount, it's got to be on an annual plan. So just go into your account, upgrade to Plus, choose annual, and put in that promo code, and you'll get your $150 off.
Okay, and then that's the minimum then that I do to get video on my site, right?
That's
do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay,
Plus
thanks.
account is the first one that includes video.
Could you guys help me get it on if I need help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're always here for you. I'll tell you that it's very easy to do, especially if you already have your video in YouTube or Vimeo. All you have to do is give us the link to it, and our servers will copy it from YouTube or Vimeo into your eSpeakers account for you.
I have several that have been done, probably like most of us at different times in my career. Is there just one that goes on the account, or can we have a few?
That's a great question, and the answer is that you can have a total of up to 30 minutes. And we recommend you split that into several clips. So you want many shorter clips, 2 to 4 minutes each. We recommend you have 3, 4, 5, 6 of those clips in there. and have them show you speaking on different topics, doing different presentations. Have them show you in front of different styles of audience. So, work groups, get a shot at that.
I do have a question about that. There are a couple of them that I would call like talking heads. They're just a couple of minutes of me just talking about a topic. Is that acceptable? I've developed those for clients, and they're out there on YouTube. I'm just wondering, is that even something that I should consider putting on? I'm not speaking to a group, but it is a good representation of my style.
It's not a bad thing to put on, but not as your primary video. So when you load videos into your eSpeakers account, you can drag and drop to choose the order. And whichever one you put at the top becomes like your primary video. That's the first one they see when they click on the video. And you wouldn't want one of those talking head videos as your primary clip. You want that one to start off with you on stage. But it wouldn't hurt to put it in, as clip number 3 or clip number 4 or 5.
Thank you.
You bet.
Terry, Dave, Connor, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, good stuff. I'm really enjoying it. Very, very informative. I'm looking at my profile marketing score at the moment, and I see I've got 80%, and I'm being advised to add more verified recommendations, which is a good idea. But I also note that the last time I updated my profile was 281 days ago. Does your website work a bit like Google, where the more you update and refresh your details online or for your website, you have a better chance of being found, or is that totally different to Google?
Nope, that's a great question. And so the question is, can you help yourself in the search ranks by keeping your profile updated on a regular basis? And the answer is yes, but it won't help you to do it more than once a quarter. So at this moment, our search engine looks to see if your profile's been updated in the last quarter, so the last 90 days. And if it has, you get the points for that. And if it hasn't, then you don't get the points for that. So you don't need to, try to go in and update it on a weekly basis, but do update it at least quarterly.
Okay, thank you. Good webinar. Thanks, lads.
Thank you.
Dave, should your the videos you said, the short videos, what about humor? Should they be funny? Should they be the 3-minute, 2-minute video we're putting up? Do meeting planners look for someone who's funny?
Terry, the answer is you should be what you are. If you're funny, then make sure your video demonstrates that. If you're not, if you're speaking on, cattle insemination in Arabia, then there's probably not a lot of, maybe there is humor in that, but if you're not a humorist, if you're not a funny speaker, don't try to show that. If you are, do show it. So show what you are. Make sure that especially that first 60 seconds in there, make sure that highlights, make sure that you're nailing it in that first 60 seconds.
You're saying no bait and switch.
Yeah, no bait and switch. No bait and switch.
Dave, this is Lori Klein. How are you?
Hey, Lori. Doing well.
So I have a question. I've been found twice from people who say they found me on NSA. How does that differ? Does that differ from what my profile looks like in eSpeaker Marketplace?
So the question is, your same eSpeakers profile is being displayed on the NSA website and also in the eSpeakers Marketplace, and it looks different in both of those places. So you're asking why that is?
No, I'm wondering what's different. How does it look different to them?
Oh, I gotcha. Well,
or does it look different?
Well, it does look different, but cosmetically, the content is going to be identical. So you've got, or nearly, the content's almost identical, and it's all based on what you've put into your profile. It's displayed in one way on the NSA website. It's got a little different look and feel, but the same content on the eSpeakers Marketplace. And,
okay. So on NSA, it'll have all my one-pagers and my video and my testimonials.
Yep. All your content shows up in both places identically. It's just rearranged. Just looks different.
Okay. Thank you.
In both areas.
Thanks a lot.
Good good question. And just a little side note on that, we're actually talking with NSA right now about upgrading to our new platform, which looks like Marketplace. And so probably by this time next year, maybe even by summer conference, the NSA website will look like Marketplace as far as the layout goes.
Wow.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And Dave, one thing that we forgot to mention is that with eSpeakers, like when someone goes to my website, and I have a $55 WordPress theme website, I spent thousands to make it look nice, but it's a regular $55 WordPress theme. When someone clicks my calendar, my web designer didn't have to design an amazing page that shows people where I am, everything. That's eSpeakers just flowing through. So can you talk about that for a second?
You bet. One of the features that you get starting with a Plus account is you get a set. We've got, I think, 5 now. You get a set of these plugins that you can add to your own website. Makes you they look really expensive, and for you they're just included with the Plus account, but it makes you look like you spent a lot of money on your website. One of them is we call it Live Schedule. And so what happens is your webmaster just copies and pastes this little snippet of code into a page on your website. They do that one time, takes them about 10 minutes, and they're done. If they bill you for an hour, have them call me and I'll set them straight. But the Live Schedule is always in sync with your eSpeakers calendar and can show where you're going to be traveling, and you can set how far back and how far forward and what fields you want it to show. One of the other plugins you can add to your website, and this one's a really good one. It's new. It's called the Book Me Now button. And we recommend actually that you have a Book Me Now button on every page on your website because you want the visitors to remember why they're there, right? They're at your website. You want them to, they're not there just joyriding. You want to get hired. So stick a Book Me Now button on every page on your website. You can use your graphic or ours, and it takes them to a page that collects information about their event. It sort of replaces the information sheet or the information form that a lot of speakers have, but it does it better. And after they fill that out, it goes directly onto your eSpeakers calendar as a lead and comes to you via email as well. So it's a really nice system. And
Dave, where do we get the code for that Book Me Now button?
Good question. Let me tell you that you go into your eSpeakers marketing dashboard, and you'll see that if you just log in at eSpeakers.com, one of the menu items that comes up is your marketing dashboard. Go in your marketing dashboard and then look for the site tools and plugins area,
okay,
and it'll be in there. So you've got the Book Me Now button. You've got streaming video. So the video that you show on your on your eSpeakers profile, you can also play out through your own website. And the first question that I hear a lot is, why wouldn't I just use YouTube? I've already got YouTube showing video clips. Why would I replace my YouTube embed with an eSpeakers embed? And the reason why is that there are a lot of corporate event organizers whose corporate firewalls are blocking YouTube. So when they go to your website, if you're relying on YouTube, they don't get that. But nobody's blocking eSpeakers, right? And so if you're using eSpeakers to embed video in your site, now you're clean and everybody can view it without any problems.
And Dave, a lot of people will embed YouTube into their site, and they're not realizing YouTube will fire up sometimes other videos from other people right behind that.
Right.
And sometimes the content is really raunchy, and it actually will repel business from you.
Yeah. A lot of times it's raunchy content. I don't know if you consider this worse or not, but a lot of times the thing that comes up right after your video's done playing is a whole bunch of videos for your closest competitors, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, take your pick. You can either have porn or your competitors playing for your visitors after your video's done. But, yeah, with these speakers in bed, you don't have to worry about any of that. The only thing they're going to watch is your next video after that. So, yeah, so you've got this series of website plugins that you can embed in your own website. Really easy to do. Makes you look like a million bucks.
Hey, Dave, Jeff again. Question related to an earlier comment. Does the optimization, and you've got, for eSpeakers, does that translate to NSA's site?
It doesn't right now, but it probably will once they upgrade.
Okay. Thanks.
You bet.
And Dave, who, as
Right
far
now,
as
the NSA site is just alphabetical. Sorry,
as
Terry.
far as CPA, I'm sorry, Dave. As far as the CPAEs, the biggest names in speaking, who big that we know are using eSpeakers? Is it just normally for startups or big time speakers using it?
You know, it's really cool because we get everybody. It works great for everybody. It's big enough to handle the busiest, most successful speakers, but it also is a wonderful place for emerging speakers to start. You know, if you're just getting started in the business, there's no reason that you should put systems in place that are automatically going to put a roof over you, that are automatically going to be a ceiling that you're going to bump against. You might as well start with, industry standard best practice tools right from the beginning. So yeah, we've got, if you were to, I don't have it right in front of me, but if you were to pull up, the past 10 years of NSA presidents, probably 8 out of 10 of them have been running their business on eSpeakers for years and years and years. It's just we've got a lot of the biggest guys in the business, and we've got a lot of emerging speakers too that are just getting started and want to do it the right way.
Any other questions?
Okay. Well, it's been a privilege. Thanks for letting me do this with y'all. I just, being in this business, I have so much respect for what y'all do and for how well you do it. And it's really been an honor to be able to talk with you a little bit today. Terry, I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, no, thank you, Dave. And one last question. When I attend a lot of these, normally I'll hang up and I'll go, I wish I would have asked this, or I wonder about this. How do they contact you if they have any additional questions? I mean, who do they call, or what do they do?
Great question. If you can still see the screen there, I'm sharing a slide that's got my email address right down there near the bottom, dreed@eSpeakers, DREED, @eSpeakers.com. So happy to chat with any of you. If you've got questions about your profile, I give profile tune-ups to help you make sure that it's really dialed in for what the buyers are looking for. Happy to set up one of those for you. And that'd be a
So do they call and just who do they contact to ask about a profile tune-up?
If you just I'm trying to remember what the address of our training site is. Hang on a second. It might be eSpeakers.com/tune-up.
And is there any place to go or any videos or anything that teaches you how to use eSpeakers?
Yes. So let me answer the first question first. If you go to eSpeakers.com/tune-up, that's the page you can go to schedule a tune-up call.
And what's the cost for a tune-up?
Well, it's the low price of 0.00. How's that?
Wow.
Yes. So schedule a tune-up. There are no costs. If you would like some online video, go to eSpeakers.com/training. And we've got video available there to talk about in more depth some of the things that I've talked about today.
Thank you. And one last question, Dave, I forgot to ask, but we're so over time, is on those videos that you said should be the short 2 to 3 minute videos, is there anything about colors? Is there any dress color we should wear, any color we should not wear on it where they're looking at it? I mean, is there any particular what looks best online from your experience?
They say it used to be with TV that you couldn't wear stripes, right? Because that would interfere, and we really don't have those kinds of problems with video anymore. I mean, whatever you're going to look good on stage in, that's what you're going to look good on video in now. So, dress nicely, but if you're on stage, you're already dressed that way. But just look good, and of course, it's your content. One of the important things with your video is that you have good audio. Actually, the audio is even more important than the picture. So if you've got a video with kind of sketchy audio, maybe the mic, you didn't get a mic feed and it's just a handheld way in the back, that'd be something to upgrade and get a video with great audio on it.
Okay. And Dave, thank you for this. We really appreciate it, and especially the tune-up. Looking forward to that. That sounds fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Illinois, and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Right.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good job. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.